Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Halloween edition of Cigar Store Idiots. I am Rob. Andrew's not here with us today, and Tyler's out on hiatus as well. But I do have a special guest that's going to help me out. I got Brittany in here with us today. So, Brittany, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. It's good to see you. I'm glad you could help me out with this today. Are you excited about Halloween?
Very. It's my favorite time of the year.
Yeah, we got a little party we're trying to get set up for. So, I got all kinds of things going on. Got some good food to eat, so I'm ready for all that. I got a big box today from Duke Cannon Supply. They have the best smelling soap on the planet. So the ones that I got today was Illegally Cut Pine, Frothy the Beer Man, and I got Leaf and Leather. Is that right? And Brittany, what was that last one?
Moonlight Swim.
Okay.
It's the best one.
All right. So those Duke Cannon Supply Company, they have great soap. It's a great company. These guys, actually, portions of their proceeds go to help out the vets. So check them out at DukeCannonSupplyCompany.com. Take a look at their soaps, their beer products, beard products, not beer, beard products. I've got the party on my mind. Sorry. And check them out, man. They've got some really good stuff. So take a look at it. So Chief Chiba approves. So, all right. So Brittany, what's going on with this Halloween party? What do you got going on?
Well, I've been cooking all day, so we have some yummy smelling things coming from the kitchen, and
yeah.
I'm really excited about my Halloween costume. It's a surprise.
Let's talk. Well, can we talk about it? It'll be we can talk about it because we're already gonna have the party. So, who are you going to be for Halloween?
I'm going to be the Voodoo Queen.
Okay, all right, good deal. And I guess that makes me the Voodoo King. So. I've already got my fingernails painted, so apparently that's happening today. So
and he likes it.
And well, I mean, that's what I'm gonna say every time. I like it. The kids like it. My son, however, he's kind of fronting on me about it. So we actually have an interesting podcast. We're kind of tying into Halloween, and we've been doing a little research on witches. All right, even with our podcast today, we're tying it all in with Halloween. The one thing I loved about Halloween when I was a kid was kind of all the mystique and the magic and the mystery and the monsters, kind of being scared. And of course the candy. What about you, Brittany? What was your thing?
My favorite was the movies. I was always interested in the supernatural or the witchy type movies, the magic. What are some movies that you remember growing up? The witches.
The witch movies that I used to remember, of course, The Witches, and we actually made the kids watch that last night. So it's
intense.
Yeah, it was pretty rough for a kid. So, but it dialed them in, and they enjoyed it pretty much. So.
And there's a remake coming out.
Yeah,
soon,
they
so
did. Well, I think it's out already. I think Anne Hathaway's in it.
That's right.
And I liked The Craft. Was a good witch movie.
Even like as a little girl, Hocus Pocus and Practical Magic. Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah.
Some of those things, it sparked that excitement. Bewitched.
Yeah,
I was a big fan of Nick at Night.
Yeah, I used to watch Bewitched. I loved the Bewitched.
She was my favorite.
Yeah.
But as a little girl, you know, after watching all that, I would sit in my room. I'd wiggle my nose. I'd try to shut doors with my fingers. It was exciting. So it made Halloween really exciting because you wanted to kind of engage with all that.
Yeah, I agree. It was always fun for us too. So, with getting to the witches, the whole witch aspect of everything, we take a look at there's several different types of witches, and I'm gonna try to get into them as much as I can. I'm not gonna really go into too depth of because I have an expert here that's going to talk to us about it. So we have lots of great questions, good Q&A session. Traditional or folk witches. You have hedge or green witches. Eclectic, or also known as a neo-witch, and a kitchen witch, and the ceremonial witch. The kitchen witch was my favorite because they actually do the meal prepping. They cook up things and put it in the food. So I like to eat, and I hope I'm always in everybody's good graces, and I don't turn into a frog or get sick in my stomach.
Don't drink the soup that makes you a mouse.
Exactly. So so the movie The Witches, that's what they did. They put the potion into the soup, and everybody turned into a mouse. So without further ado, I want to introduce our special guest in. We're gonna bring her in. Everybody, this
Dora
is
Lee.
Dora Lee. Dora Lee is here with us today. Dora Lee, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
We're good, and we thank you so much for your time. We're happy to have you here, and we got a lot of good questions for you. So,
I'm ready.
all right.
All right. Just to kind of start out, witches, you hear that and you get, kind of a bad rap. So what do you think? Black magic, white magic, which way do you prefer?
White magic.
White magic. So she's a good witch.
Okay.
Glenda the good. Now with doing white magic, do you get into tarot cards or astrology? Any type of ancestor worship?
Tarot cards, pendulum,
Okay.
different kind of readings.
Okay.
Now, me and you have talked about stars before. You're not into astrology at all?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well,
Stars,
I definitely,
the moon.
I read Cosmo magazine, so I like reading in the back my sign, but I've never really gotten to depth about the stars and what they really mean, other than month to month. what they think that you want to know. So
I'm big into astrology too. I like reading my horoscope and seeing kind of where I'm at with myself, and shockingly it's pretty accurate sometimes. So kind of makes me wonder who's following me.
Well,
Who's watching me?
you know what it is too. It's what you believe.
Okay.
If you believe, when you read it, it will resonate with you.
Okay.
If you don't believe, your reading is like, that ain't gonna happen. But then sometimes when that happens, they're like,
Yeah.
looking around like, oh my God, it is true.
Yeah.
it's kind of like a fortune cookie. I crack them open and I keep opening them until I find one that I want.
Yeah. I will tell you those numbers on the back of them, you're not going to win the lottery. I've tried way too many times.
too.
Didn't work out. Well, I got a question for you.
Sure.
At what point in your life did it come to the point to where, that you were interested in the craft and you got into it and you really, was there something that happened? Was there a specific moment, or was it just something you've kind of always been interested in as a child?
Well, when I was a little girl, I used to see spirits.
Okay.
Would go by and I would tell people, they're like, you're crazy. I'd hear their voices, and people used to say, oh, well, you're schizophrenic. No. Well, I even went and they gave me medicine, and I'm like, okay, well, it's been a year and it's not helping me.
Yeah.
So that's how I knew right away, this is supernatural.
Okay.
This is something in my genes. So I just went from there, but then I went away from it. And just recently, 2 years ago, I started really getting into it.
Okay.
So, and like I said, I do pendulum questions. I do readings with tarot cards, oracle cards.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually doing school, Wiccan Academy, with my teacher.
Okay.
I do classes Monday through Thursday. And I'm learning a lot more. But as far as that, I get the sensations, and I, see my spirits. I hear my spirit guides, and sometimes I can see someone else's aura around them.
That's really cool.
My intuition is always spot on, and I could see things happen before it happens. Mm-hmm. So it kind of all ties in together.
Okay.
Very cool.
Now I know I told this story. We had a gentleman on that he actually dealt with the supernatural, and you're talking about seeing things and seeing shadow or seeing things. And I'll tell you this, and then I probably will have a question for you on that once we work the pendulum, because I've always been curious about it. We had there was a point in my life where I was going through a lot of tough things. It just mentally exhausting, and like I said before, I wasn't on drugs or anything like that. I just had a lot of things that weighed me down mentally that I was dealing with. And ever so often, I would be alone with my thoughts, thinking about things, and I noticed there was something in the room with me, and it had a shadow, and it would make itself visible in my peripheral vision But when I went to turn to look at it, it would sleek away. It'd go away. Okay. And this happened a lot during this period of time. And my parents were building a house, and I'd went out to help my dad. We were actually putting the cabinets together for the house, and we were just talking or whatever. Now my dad is like a no nonsense, he don't believe in anything. He's just old school, don't believe in anything. And we were talking or whatever, and I'd mentioned the fact that these things was happening, that had this occurrence, it was happening. And he just kind of laughed, but he didn't say anything to me. And so I was like, okay, you laughed. What is it? What's so funny? And he said, well, I'll tell you, the other day I was here at the house and I was working. He said, and I went out on the back porch and I looked up on the roof, and there was a shadow squatted down like a gargoyle on the edge of the roof. He said, and I saw it out of my peripheral vision, and I turned to look at it, and it slid off down the side of the house and it went away. Now we had that conversation, and I had cold chills just now, just now thinking about it. Mm-hmm. But once I did, I never saw it again. It's like I talked to my dad about it, and I never saw it again. And I'm pretty sure he hadn't either, because he would have told me about it. So, but this was back several years ago. But I was dealing with I had a lot of stress then. So
that's usually when it happens.
So do you think it was something that was looking out for me, or was looking to harm me? Like, what do you think could possibly be? I mean, just in your opinion.
Well, that depends on what the shadow looked like.
Okay.
If it was a dark shadow, did it have wings?
It did not. It was a human form. I never saw wings. Now, my dad said it looked like a gargoyle to him, which a gargoyle does have wings. So, but it always had a human form. I always would see. I mean, it was crazy. I would always see it. So I'll be looking under my bed later tonight before I get to sleep.
Well,
actually, nothing can get under that bed, so I'm good. Maybe the closet.
Well, if your dad said it looked like one of those,
yeah,
then maybe that's what he saw.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see it like that?
I didn't. I saw it in human form. Yeah.
More like a human form.
Correct.
Okay. That is what they call a shapeshifter.
Okay.
They're essential
okay.
Beings
mm-hmm.
that can shapeshift into anything they want to be.
Okay.
Like right now, I'm reptilian essential.
Okay.
/ witch. I'm not one of those. I can't shapeshift, but my dad can.
Okay.
My essential dad, he can do that. And like I asked you, it depends on what color it was.
Okay.
Because you've got the grays, you've got the green aliens, you've got the reptilians, you've got the other ones, the Pleiadians and Orions and all those.
Okay.
That's why I asked you if you saw a color.
It was black.
It was black.
It was black, yes.
Okay. Was it more black, or was it like a gray?
It was black.
It was black.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like a very dark black shadow, human
Okay.
form.
Okay. That could have been a demon.
Okay. And I would believe that just for the simple fact that things that I was dealing with.
Uh-huh.
I had a lot of
depression.
I was weighing me down for sure.
Exactly. That's depression kicking in, showing you that if you're going to continue thinking about it, you might start thinking suicide.
I got you.
I don't know if you've ever thought that before.
I was going through a really rough time. I'll just be honest. Yeah.
See, so if that was in the mind, a lot of depression where you felt like you couldn't pull yourself out of it,
mm-hmm.
That's why you saw that.
Okay. That makes sense. That actually makes more sense than anything else that I've tried to come up with. So, and it's kind of what I thought. Mm-hmm. Kind of thought that might have been what I was dealing with.
Exactly.
But it was mischievous. It was mischievous. Like it would always it's like it would taunt me, it was always taunting me. Like it was crazy. I mean, it gives me cold chills still. Mm-hmm. I'm glad I'm in a better place than I was back then. So,
yeah, that's what was happening. It was due to your depression, being in a bad
mind frame.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna ask you about this because didn't you have an incident in the home you lived in, Brittany, where there was a figure in the house? Didn't you tell me about that?
Yeah, this was a long time ago, and actually wasn't my house. We were spending the night
Sorry.
at a house, and upstairs it never had a door. I think there were little boys that grew up in the house that were bad, so their mom took the door off the hinges, and so we just spent the night, and I was asleep in the bed by myself the next morning, and remember feelings. I thought someone had broken into the house. They had put their hand over my mouth and kind of cocked my head sideways and held me down, and was whispering in my ear some things about my daughter, which I was pregnant with. And this is a true story. It scared me to death. I couldn't move. I was kind of, when you're scared and you're frozen stiff. I didn't know what was going to happen next. Next thing I know, it kind of ran out of the room, and I was hysterical. So I tell the owners of the home, what had happened, and they had brought a exorcist in the next day.
Yeah.
And they said that there was always a little activity, supernatural activity upstairs. They had always had, TVs, lights come on, doors slam. So they took the door off the hinges. So obviously, whatever it was could enter and leave as it pleased. I just know it felt like a human hand on my mouth and whispered words in my ears that really scared me. And I thought everybody kept saying, maybe it was a dream. I remember clear as day that it wasn't a dream. So that's my story. And they had to cleanse the room and get a preacher out there to take care of business. But it definitely wasn't something good. It was there to harm and destroy whatever I thought was good.
And the thing that I think was crazy about that is that you were pregnant with Cadence at the time,
yes.
and it was telling you stories about.
It was talking to me about my pregnant child and or my. I'm sorry.
Wait a minute.
It was talking to me about my child that I was pregnant with, and called her by name. So no one knew her name but me.
That's really strange.
Yeah. So,
but do you remember what color it was? Was it white? Was it black?
No, I don't. And I was going to ask you. You referred to colors. It must. So colors are a big deal in the craft, like colors and symbols and numbers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, they are. So that could have been, depending on the color, what they whispered in your ear. Did they cover your mouth?
They covered my mouth.
They completely covered your mouth and whispered
and moved my head sideways so I couldn't see them.
So you couldn't see them, and
I could not see their face.
And so you couldn't scream,
right?
Because
I remember thinking to myself, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. I was, I know anything has to leave at the name of Jesus. So I'm just sitting there in that room, paralyzed. I felt like, and I could not even say the name Jesus out of my mouth. I was just saying it in my head. And finally it left me alone, and I ran downstairs like a crazy person, but it was an experience for sure.
Well, sometimes you watch a movie, and the movie you're watching with those kind of things are real. They are real. There is a movie that what happened to you is in the movie. It actually shows that happening.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the name of the movie?
No, I don't remember.
If you remember, later, just let us know. I want to watch it.
For sure.
I don't remember the name of the movie. I've seen it.
Yeah. It's when you say that, we actually just did our last podcast. We did was on horror movies and the actual events that happened that inspired the people to make the movie about the actual events or the actual people that happened. So you saying that just kind of that's crazy.
No, it's true. It really is true. Mm-hmm. Because have you ever watched Lucifer?
The TV show?
The show.
Oh, yeah, girl.
Yeah.
We love Lucifer Morningstar.
Oh, so do I. I can't wait for the next episode. But if you watch that and you pay attention to it, mm-hmm. you will see the different things that actually happen in real life.
Okay.
You got to pay attention to it. Shows like that, you have to pay attention to them. Did you ever watch S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No, I'm not.
I never watched that.
It's a good show. I'm on episode in season 3. It's really good. There's a lot of things that happen in there that actually happen.
Oh, wow.
In real life.
Okay.
Yeah. There's other shows too. That this supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
You don't pay attention to it, you won't realize it's real or not real.
Okay.
Some people, they'll sit there and say, "That's not real. That's not real."
Well, some people are really sensitive to the supernatural. I for one, feel like I am. I'm just sensitive to the spirit. But I'm open-minded. I'm not like most people. So,
Well, see, when you're open-minded, it's a big difference because you'll see and hear things that you won't be afraid of. It's when you have fear is when you see and hear the bad stuff.
Okay.
So there's a difference.
so do you think it feeds off of our fear?
It feeds your fear. Yes, it
I
does.
believe that.
It feeds your fear.
Like a grief eater.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, did you watch, was it The Outsider? Was that what it was that just came out on HBO? And it had the demon that fed off of people's sadness.
No, I haven't seen that yet.
We think our cat feeds off of our sadness.
We were
does.
reading an article about the cat and how it lays on our chest or sleeps with us. It has to sleep off everything, all that energy that it fed off of us. And we're a party of 6. I mean, I remember Lucy has been the same weight for 2 years, so tiny. We were like, man, she's never going to grow. And then we moved into this big house with all of our people, and she's a chunk now, fed off of all of our sadness. We're all happy, so she don't really hang out with us too much anymore.
But if anybody has a bad day, we always notice that's who she attaches herself to that day. I mean, it's like she's always, in one of our laps. If you've had a bad day, she knows.
That sickness, any of it.
All animals feel your sensitivity, your sadness, your anger. When you're angry, did you ever notice how she acts?
Yeah, she slaps at me.
Did you ever notice how she acts?
She kind of ignores me when I feel feisty. She just gets out of the way.
Yep.
She always swats at me like, "Hey, get your head out of your ass."
She knows you're not like a cat lover. She's like, "Love me, man."
They can sense that. If you don't like them, they're like evil. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're like, mine, she loves to play, and she'll lunge at me. She'll actually run and lunge at me like a little bear.
That's too funny.
But the way she plays, I've got videos. I've been putting them on TikTok.
Yeah. Okay.
She's the cutest thing. I'll show you a couple of them.
Yeah. What's your handle so people can look at your TikTok videos?
If you want to give that out, you can.
You probably don't. I'm
It's
just kidding.
my name. It's just
Dora Lee, everybody.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, now you said you're seeking further education. How does someone go about in doing that? How do they get connected with the people to further their education
That depends on what you want to practice. Everybody's got gifts. It's just what you feel you want to tap into.
Okay.
You go about it all kinds of different ways.
I gotcha.
But with me, it's a soul family connection.
Okay.
Starseed, essentials, that kind of stuff. We
Can you
we
explain
kind
that a
of
little more?
know when someone is what we are.
Okay.
And Brittany is connected with us in some aspect.
Can you explain what the Starseed child is?
A starseed child is someone who constantly gazing at stars and the moons and the sun and the weather, nature, animals, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Connected with everything
just-
nature. I like it.
Exactly.
I've always
And
been
you
like that.
are.
Mhm,
And
for
we're gonna find out in a few minutes because I'm going to ask the question if
Awesome.
she is a starseed.
Okay.
And we're going to see what the answer is.
All right.
And you have brought today. Explain what you have with us today.
I have a pendulum board,
Okay.
which I use all the time. I can ask questions. It will give me a yes or no answer. I can. It's got the alphabet on it. It's got numbers 1 through 9. basically can answer questions, give you names. It depends on the question. It has to be a direct question.
Okay.
So,
and would you mind if when we're done, can I take photos of those and then we can post them on our social media? Or is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay, so that way everybody can get an idea of what we're looking at too. So
yeah.
And quick question,
Go ahead.
just excuse my ignorance. You say you ask it questions, so you're asking the pendulum questions.
No, I'm asking my spirit guides the questions.
Spirit guides, okay. So that's who comes through.
I ask my spirit guides to give me the correct answer.
Okay.
So that's how that works. And I'm very connected to my spirit guides because they talk to me through my kitchen light.
Oh, okay.
Your kitchen light, okay.
Yeah,
now tell me this, is it something that you always have to go after, or does it come to you? Like, you were talking about your intuition and you seeing things. Do you always have to ask your guides questions, or do you feel things? Do you feel like your own?
No, that comes natural.
Okay.
Your intuition is always natural.
Okay.
You don't need spirit guides. You don't need a board or tarot cards or anything like that. It's you and how you feel. That gut feeling is what they call it.
Discernment.
That's what intuition really is your gut feeling.
So let me, I'll just, I gotta ask this question. So my discernment is pretty good with people, and I kind of know when somebody's they have nasty intentions, or if they're a genuine person, and usually I would probably say 90% of the time that if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck.
You're pretty accurate.
But but
you don't know if it's the mother duck or the daddy duck.
Exactly. But I will tell you, Brittany's terrible. Her discernment is terrible.
Yeah.
She always tries to find which
I second guess my gut feelings, and I've learned the hard way a lot.
And ideally, you always want to. Everybody wants to try to find the good in everybody, but you've got to be able to pick the bad out too, because of the ones that are bad, they can manipulate somebody that always tries to find the good. And I'm like, no, that's a turd. That's a bad person.
I think I just need a pendulum.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask from now on.
And I can help you learn how to use one if you'd like. That's not a problem.
But discernment's a real thing. It's a real thing.
It is.
Yeah.
And the best way to know is never contradict yourself. If what you feel is that's it. Mm-hmm. Don't ever second guess yourself, because when you do that, then it's going to go wrong.
And I never I never give these people another chance. Like if I know somebody's got bad intentions, like I never ever let them have another crack at doing something to me or my family or anything again. So I pretty much shut them off and they're dead to me. So
you can feel their energy.
Yeah.
It's like a bad vibe. You'll get a cold chill, or sometimes it depends on the person. If I know, I can see it right in your face.
Yeah, me too.
I could read body language.
Yeah, me.
I could see it in your eyes. I can see it in your lips, the way you talk, how you move your head, how you move your hands.
Wow.
I'm good with that. Everybody tells me, oh, wow, and I can actually tell you what you're thinking before you tell it to me.
So you have psychic abilities.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I tell my mom she's a psychic. She's always saying, no, it comes from the Lord. The Lord tells me. So don't call me a psychic. I'm a prophet.
Let's talk about dreams too with that. I mean, because her dreams are so real to her when she has a dream. And so if it's bad things, then she struggles for a while, days to shake it off.
It stays with me. It's real. To me. So it takes days to get over it. And I wake up and I tell him, and some of them are crazy. And then some of them kind of make sense and things happen afterwards. So, sometimes I feel led by my dreams. I'm going to ask her.
Crazy. Okay. I'm going to say this. It's going to make you uncomfortable, I'm sure. But she's had a dream twice that I've been shot. And they were like very graphic, very, very heavy. Like she woke up sobbing, and I actually had to go to Atlanta the last time she had said that, and then we made a joke. I was like, I'll try not to get shot while I'm gone. So
no, never say that, because her dreams they're real.
Okay.
If she wakes up crying, that is completely real.
Okay.
Whatever her dream is, and she tells it to you, do the opposite.
Okay.
Either that or don't go.
Okay.
Don't go at all.
Okay.
Because her dreams are real.
Okay.
And her dreams will come true.
Yeah. And I just try to make light of it just to make her feel better. But it's weird. It's okay.
It's her spirit guides warning her.
Okay.
That something is going to happen. So you want to avoid it. If she saw it clear as day, like she was awake and the sun is shining and the sky is blue with one cloud, and that's what she dreamt about, that's what it's going to be out there.
Okay. Well, that's a different way.
Thanks for telling him that.
Yeah, for real. I mean, that's why, like I said, we got questions we need answers to. So I'm glad you're answering them for us.
Oh, you're welcome.
What else? When you ready to jump into that?
Yeah, I want to know about your crystals. I think crystals are beautiful. I'm so ignorant to it. I know nothing about them.
I haven't.
That's why they have crystal books.
Yeah.
Go to Barnes and
She
Noble.
was like crystals, and I was like, well, if they don't have mustard on them, and she's like, no, that's the wrong kind of crystals. That's like,
Don't encourage.
but I have a really good friend of mine. His name's Brian Blaylock, and we actually did a podcast with Brian. Probably one of our, I think it was number 4 we did. And he talked about, we didn't get into the crystal aspect of things, but we did talk about he had a DMT trip to help rid his body of the Zika virus. And it's pretty,
phenomenal.
The things that he talked about and the things that he saw in that state of mind. And anyways, so the crystals, Brian's very knowledgeable in the crystals. And I was actually having pain, had a kidney stone, which I have another one. Dun, dun, dun. He gave me a jade crystal to carry with me, and I keep it with me. He said it'll help you. So
it literally will. But if you want to pass that kidney stone,
it's a beast.
Okay, if you want to pass that kidney stone, take your jade, find 2 other crystals that are good to help with kidneys, and just lay them on your kidney.
Yeah. Okay. Now look.
Lay them like that in a circle.
Dora Lee, this thing's the size of a jelly bean. I don't know if I want to try to shoot that. I don't want to shoot that thing out of there or not.
If you take the crystals just like this.
Now I'm scared.
if you put the crystals on your kidneys like this.
All right.
I'd have to look up what crystals it would be. That would take me a while. But if you take the crystals like this.
Yeah.
Out in a circle like this of 3. In a week, it should start shrinking.
Okay. I like the shrinking aspect of it, but I'll tell you right now, I'm more scared to pass that kidney stone than I am knowing that a demon used to follow me around when I was depressed. Because that thing, buddy.
The crystals will help it shrink so you can pass it.
All right. Well, then I will definitely look into that then.
Crystals are healing.
Because I hate to know that I get to give somebody $13,000 to blast a sonic wave through my back to break it up into tiny pieces. Oh. We'll try the rock. We'll try the crystals. We'll try it.
Yeah, try the crystals. But their crystals are for healing.
Okay.
It depends on what kind of healing you want. You have to believe it. Mm-hmm. You have to put your energy into it. In order to heal yourself, you can heal yourself. You don't need doctors.
I believe if you don't, if you don't put your energy into something that you want, you're not going to get it, regardless of what you're doing.
No.
But I believe what you're saying, you got to put your energy into it. So.
It's called manifestation.
Okay.
Manifesting what you want.
I say it. I speak it. If I want something, I speak it.
If you speak it and you get it, you're manifesting everything you want.
Give me 5 on that, Brittany. I finally got her to say she was going to marry me. I used to tell her all the time. So
I kept saying, "Are you speaking it? Are you throwing it out there?"
You don't. If you can't say it, you don't. You can't. You don't believe it. You don't achieve it.
The mind is strong.
It is.
It is.
It is. Your mind takes over, and when you say something from your heart, and you know that's what you want, then you're manifesting.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yep.
So what crystals did you bring with you today?
Well, I have a black onyx, black tourmaline, and a hematite.
Okay.
My pendulum is a blue goldstone.
Okay.
Those
Pretty.
are the ones I have on the
They
table.
are pretty. They're very pretty.
And
Let me get some pictures for that.
here in the bag, I have a jasper, yellow jasper, tiger's eye,
It's Tyler's favorite. I want to ask you about
Pretty.
Tiger's Eye.
carnelian, and a moonstone.
Okay. What is a Tiger's Eye? And the reason I asked is because ever since Tyler was little, that was his favorite, and he always had them with him.
It seems to be everybody's.
It was
way.
his favorite.
Yeah. You know what it is because tiger's eye, if you look at a cat, that's exactly what it looks like.
Right.
You know, there's crystals that exactly look like the cat's eye. I have one at home, and when you turn it, you can see the cat's eye in it. It's a spear.
That's neat.
But the spear that I have is a real healing crystal. If you have a sciatic nerve, you hold that crystal, it will give you the energy to take away the pain.
I need to give my dad one. We got to get him one and keep it in his pocket because he's struggling with that right now.
It's a natural cat's eye.
Okay.
Sometimes it's very hard to find. It took me a while to find it. Somebody else found it for me.
Okay.
But it does because I've got weird kind of pains in my legs. And when I hold that crystal, the pain eases. Sometimes it'll completely go away. It depends on how long I can hold the crystal. But crystals are healers.
Okay. All right.
So I actually have also a selenite wand. It's very, very, very high in energy. If you hold the crystal, you can actually feel the tingling through your whole body, from your head to your feet.
Okay.
It's a good one to have. It also cuts ties. Like if you want to get away from someone that you no longer want to have around you, use this crystal.
Man, where were you a few
I
years
was
ago?
about to say, God, that could have been so helpful years ago.
You have to know what you're doing in order to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But crystals are the way to go. It just, you got to believe in it.
Okay.
You know, you got to know how to use them. That's why they have Google, like they say, it's your best friend. Well, it's not my best friend.
Yeah. Is there something more? What do you feel? I mean, I know you obviously were leaning towards the crystals, but people that read palms or tarot cards and things like that. I mean, I know. What do you feel is the most effective thing to actually to do readings with? I mean, it all kind of it does. Maybe, and again, forgive my ignorance, but they all do the same thing. They're reading something.
No.
No, it's not. Okay, all right, okay.
The meanings are totally different.
Okay, all right.
Because you have your oracle cards, you have your tarot cards. You have ones that witches use that Wiccans don't use.
Okay.
If you look up all the different tarot cards, there some are for witches that witches use, like they do their spells. Wiccans don't do their spells.
Okay. So there is a difference between a witch and a Wiccan. They're not the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. See, you cleared that up for me because that's how everything's categorized as a witch and a Wiccan. So
No.
I gotcha.
Wiccans don't do bad spells.
Okay.
Wiccans can actually take a curse off of you.
Okay.
So there's nothing sacrificial that a Wiccan would need to do.
No.
I gotcha.
A witch, however,
Yeah.
A witch can
Or
put
dark
a
magic.
Yeah.
black magic, dark magic. Yeah. Okay.
Because if a dark witch puts a hex on you or a curse, it won't get broken.
Okay.
Nobody can break it.
Except for that witch that put it on.
Only
you.
that certain person that put it on you is
Okay.
the only one who can take it away.
Good deal. All right. Well, that's good. I was always worried about that. Look, I want to ask you, like we kind of went before we ask, somebody that's just getting that they're feeling these things, that their discernment is what it is, and they have visions and they're seeing apparitions and all these things. What do you suggest? What is your best suggestion for those folks that just kind of are on the fence, that don't really understand what's going on? I know we talked about before, they'd said something, maybe schizophrenia, and then they would try to give you medicine. I guess basically don't ignore what you feel.
Exactly.
Like, and what do you suggest to those people? What is your best advice to those folks?
Well, with people that have schizophrenia, it's like totally different from when you hear spirit guides. Spirit guides are never going to tell you to commit suicide.
Right.
Your spirit guides are never going to tell you to do bad things.
Okay.
With schizophrenia, you're constantly paranoid. Your spirit guides don't make you paranoid. They watch over you. Mm-hmm. So that's how you can tell the difference between schizophrenia and a true believer. They don't believe it at first, but they will down the line.
Okay.
Once they start to see things happen for the good, they'll start to change. Some people are awakened, and some people are not. And the people that are not might not ever be. It depends on their intuition, how they feel, what kind of energy they get. If they put whatever energy you put out there is the energy you're going to get back.
Okay.
So,
and what avenue can they take to get some guidance? Somebody that's just totally green and they don't understand. Where can they reach out?
There's really no place that they could reach out. It's just they have to believe. They could look up crystals, see, what the meanings of crystals are, how the crystals can help them. There's different places that they could reach out. They have to be very careful if they want to get a card reading, because there are people out there that are phonies. They just want your money.
Sure.
The more money they ask you for a reading, those are scam artists. They have no clue of what they're doing.
I gotcha.
The ones that will ask you for little amount of money, those are the true readers.
Okay.
Some of them will say, I'll do a reading for free. Mm-hmm. That's definitely a reader.
They're not trying to just make money off of folks. No, I gotcha.
They're not.
And then, so as far as the education goes, you were talking about classes. How do people go about doing things like that? Is it online or
no,
is there? Okay.
That is definitely not online.
Well, that's...
The classes that I'm taking are specifically for what I am.
Okay.
It's a soul connection.
Okay.
With what I am, an essential reptilian. People don't believe that. They're like, you're crazy. But if you really look up an essential reptilian, it will tell you. If you look up time travel, it will tell you. You look up shapeshifter, it will tell you. And usually what it tells you is the truth.
Okay.
So that's basically how they can go about it and how they can get the feel.
How many different things are there? Like you're talking about time traveler, shapeshifter. Like how many, is it an endless amount of things there is, or?
Because there's different planets out there. I was actually born on Ceres. My mom, which is very rare that people like us know their real parents, real mom. I am just a lucky one that knows.
Okay.
My mom, before I was born 2,881 years ago, put a bonding spell on me, which means every reincarnation, she's always going to be my mom.
Okay. So you 100% believe in reincarnation?
Oh, absolutely.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, it is a real thing. I'm 2,881 years old.
You're officially the oldest person that I know. So officially, so.
Yes, that's how many past lives I've had.
You look great for somebody that's 2,000 years old. You did. Seriously, so.
Yeah, that's how old I am. I mean, actually, my daughters are also essentials.
Okay.
Star seeds. There's indigo is different. You can look that up too. Indigo child. The star seeds. There's one they call it rainbow. But those are the things that you have to look up. What you feel inside if you look up, if you're constantly looking up and saying, I don't belong here, I don't fit in, you're definitely a starseed.
I gotcha. So even the awkwardness that people feel like they don't feel like they fit in, or they just feel out of touch with everybody else. It's not essentially that. Maybe it's just everybody's out of touch with them.
Could be, but it's their intuition is how they're feeling.
I gotcha.
And it usually starts as a child.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that explains a lot with kids too, how they see things and perceive things. Everything's like they can see spirits, things like that.
Yeah, because when I was a child, my teacher told me that I had a imaginary friend I used to talk to all the time. And I'm like, at first I said, well, how do you know that? And she told me what it was, but this was like a year and a half ago, and I don't remember. Oh, it was a fairy that I used to talk to, and it was always holding my hand out. She said, you were always holding your hand out, and you're always doing this and talking to it, and you would gently put it down on the bed and just sit next to it.
Oh, wow.
She was telling the truth because she knows who I am.
Yeah.
I'm her aunt.
Okay.
I'm her essential aunt.
Yeah. That's too cool.
And with her and one of my daughters, they're cousins.
Okay.
Me and my one of my daughters, we both have the same essential dad.
Okay.
It's weird. We're siblings all along the line.
Yeah. That's weird. I actually had a friend of mine who, this is crazy. I had a friend of mine, person I knew. He was married, and he came home from work one day, and his wife told him that they had to get a divorce because in their past life they were kin. In some Celtic land, they were actually kin, and they couldn't be married anymore. And she totally believed it. And of course, he thought she was completely bonkers. But they ended up getting a divorce. They didn't stay together. But she totally believed that they were kin back in the Celtic days where they ran in kilts on mountains. Yeah.
Yeah. And see, essentials will have a lot of different relationships because they don't work out. Like me. We find our kind. And once you find your soulmate, your partner, your essential, you'll be together forever.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
You'll be together forever. I haven't found the right one yet. And I've been through millions of relationships, all
found
bad.
your lobster, yeah.
I believe this person right here was made for me. I'm not going to lie. So.
Okay.
All right. So last thing we're going to do, we're going to have a little fun with this. It's 10 random questions. Okay? So, Dora Lee, are you ready?
I'm ready.
For 10 random questions. All right, these 10 random questions we're going to ask, you can answer them with a yes or no. You can go into detail. You have one that you can refer to as no comment. That's your mulligan. You can use it once. Okay. But the rest of them you have to answer. Okay. All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. What is the dumbest thing you've ever done on a dare?
Let me think about that. 'Cause I've done a lot of dumb things on a dare.
That's always the general consensus for everybody that I know.
The dumbest thing I've ever done on a dare. Oh my God, there's too many I can't think right now. I'm sorry.
All right, so you're going to go no comment on that one?
I give you no
That's
comment.
That's what most people do because they're afraid to answer that. Okay. Is there a witch movie that best represents witches out there, and what is it?
Depending on you want the good side or the bad side.
Either one. Is there maybe an accurate depiction of the good and the bad, and what would those maybe those would be?
Actually, The Craft is a true movie.
Okay.
That's exactly how they do their rituals.
Okay. What is the worst witch movie depicting witches?
Wait, repeat that.
What is the worst witch movie? Like, oh, this is just foolish.
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't watched every single one of them, so.
What's one you just thought stunk it up?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't watch much TV
I gotcha.
because I'm always working.
Right.
So there's times
You don't
that I
have time
don't
for
even get to watch TV at all.
I'm with you, sister.
Are witches really cat people?
Yes.
Okay. What's your favorite song? What's your jam? What's your go-to song?
Well, I hate to tell you, it's not English.
Oh, that's fine. Oh, what is it?
It's Spanish. I don't know if you've...
She's so interesting.
I'm pretty sure you've heard of it. It's on the radio all the time. It's called Ritmo
Yeah.
by J Balvin.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
That's
about.
my jam.
Okay,
That's
all right.
that's
Okay.
my alarm clock music.
That's a good
that
one.
jam right there.
That gets it going. That does. What are something that you are so terrible at that you're actually good at? Like something you're just terrible at. You're so terrible that you're good at being terrible at it.
I'm sorry. There's nothing I'm terrible at because I'm good at everything I do.
Oh, that's a good answer. That's a good answer.
I like it.
Is Halloween overrated?
There's people out there that way overdo it, but overrated, no.
Okay. Have you ever successfully put a spell on someone?
No. I wish somebody did and it came true, but that wasn't.
That's pretty damn close. I'm just kidding.
No, that wasn't a spell. That was just a random. I wish, and it happened.
All right.
So I know never to say that kind of stuff again. Never wish somebody did. No. My brother, he's a fanatic. Well, I wish this would happen. I wish that would happen. Be careful what you wish for.
Right. All right. One of these things has to go. Crystal hamburgers, crystals, or Crystal Gale. One's got to go.
Repeat that with the crystals, please.
Crystal hamburgers, crystals, or Crystal Gale. One's got to go.
Crystals, you mean in crystals that
yes,
I have?
Those. One has to go though.
Crystals hamburgers.
Okay, all right. I'm with you because they're disgusting.
Because they're not anywhere near White Castle.
I got you. All right. Final question. Last random question. Have you ever had the urge to run naked through the woods?
Do you dance under the moonlight
Do you dance
naked?
under the moonlight naked in the woods? All right. There it is.
I howl at the moon. Yeah. You've heard it. Am I pretty good at it?
That's pretty good. That was convincing. Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate you coming in.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun, so I hope you did too. And again, I really do appreciate your time. Thank you for coming in.
Anytime.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Brittany, thank you for coming in and being with us today. So that was good.
I had a lot of fun. Now we can do this again if you'd like.
All right. We got to come up with some more stuff too. So I want you to do a reading. I want you to bring the cards and read.
I'll bring the cards next time. Do a reading.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you. Y'all have an awesome happy Halloween.